What lurks in the shadows? 5 real paranormal footage caught on security cam. You ever wondered what your security camera sees when you're not around? Well, from chairs moving on their own to violent outbursts in empty rooms, here are eerie moments that have left viewers questioning what really lurks when no one's watching. Number 1. The Field residence kitchen, UK. When Mr. Field moved into his new house, it seemed like a fresh start. Quiet neighborhood, decent space, affordable rent. Nothing about it looked or felt off, at least at first. But within a week, things began to change. It started small. A thump at night, a cupboard left open, an occasional cold draft that didn't match the season. He thought maybe the place just had quirks. But the noises got worse. Louder, more deliberate. Heavy footsteps overhead when no one else was home. Silverware clinking in the middle of the night. One evening, he was sitting alone in the living room when he heard something coming from the kitchen. Not just a bump. It sounded like objects being moved. Metal scraping, something slamming. He grabbed his phone and hit record, thinking maybe it was a burglar. But what he caught on video wasn't an animal or a person. As he walked toward the kitchen, he could hear muffled sounds, but as soon as he went closer to the source of the sounds, everything went dead silent. Tired of being haunted, he shouted, "I am tired of this," telling whatever it was to leave. But instead of calming, the room reacted. There was a loud growl just before everything exploded into chaos. The cabinets flew open all at once, violently slamming against their hinges. Plates and bowls launched out and smashed onto the floor. A heavy cutting board was hurled across the room and landed flat on the countertop with a loud slap.
Tired of this. Get out of my house.
You can see the camera shake and tumble as he hits the floor hard. When he got up, the lower cabinets were open and most of his utensils were scattered across the kitchen tiles. The entire kitchen reacted like it was under attack. Eventually, the footage goes still. You can hear the man breathing heavily as he scrambles out. The video ends with a shaky shot of the ruined kitchen. Shelves empty. Broken dishes everywhere, and not a single sign of what caused it. This wasn't just something moving a chair or knocking over a bottle. This was direct, forceful, and angry. Then we have our next video, where something similar appeared in an office after haunting the workers for weeks. Number 2. Castlefield House, Manchester, UK. Castlefield House is just a regular office building in Manchester, filled with marketing teams, admin desks, and storage rooms. But the employees who worked there started noticing that something wasn't right. Computers that had been shut down overnight would be powered on by morning. Items left on desks were moved, sometimes stacked strangely. One department even reported their paperwork going missing, only to show up days later in a locked filing cabinet. The management didn't take it seriously at first. They blamed night staff or forgetful workers. But then came the cold spots. Entire sections of the building, especially near the meeting rooms and hallway corners, were freezing cold. Staff started calling in sick more frequently. Some refused to work alone after hours, and a few just quit altogether. That's when the building owners decided to install CCTV. What they captured shocked everyone. One of the CCTVs showed a swivel chair rolling across the floor without anyone near it. Not slowly, not like it drifted, but like it was pushed. It turned slightly, then rolled backward as if someone invisible had kicked off from the desk. And it wasn't just one chair. This was happening to other chairs in the room, captured on different cameras. In another room, a file drawer opened about halfway, pauses, then slams shut hard. In the break room, the doors rattled as if trying to open. A few seconds later, another door slumped shut with no one nearby. In the printing area, another cabinet opens, and a stack of files and paper are thrown in the air. When the staff reviewed the footage the next day, no one could explain how it happened. There were no cleaners on duty. No one had a key to that room overnight. After that, the management brought in a private security firm. But even they couldn't give a proper explanation. There was no break-in, no equipment failure, just unexplainable events caught clearly on tape. Eventually, that entire section of the office was shut down. And just when you think a workplace is the last place something supernatural would show up, wait until you see what happened inside a Blockbuster store. Number 3. Blockbuster Video Store, USA. In what starts off like any regular day at an old Blockbuster video store, one of the most unnerving pieces of surveillance footage ever captured in a retail setting unfolds. The owner was going about his routine, restocking shelves, organizing titles, and prepping the floor for the evening. The store was quiet with no customers in sight. Then, something odd happened. As he was stocking DVDs from a small push cart, the cart suddenly jolted forward on its own. It wasn't a slow drift or a tilt like you'd expect if it were unevenly balanced. This was a firm push, sharp, deliberate, and forceful. A few DVDs sitting on top of the cart even tipped backward from the momentum, confirming that something had physically shoved the cart forward. The store owner froze for a second. You can tell from the footage that he wasn't expecting it, but after a moment of hesitation, he tried to shake it off. Maybe it was the floor, maybe it was just an accident. Then, went back to stocking. But the peace didn't last. Just as he turned his back, a DVD from one of the nearby shelves fell to the floor. It wasn't nudged, it wasn't even close to the edge, it simply dropped. He walked over, picked it up, and carefully placed it back on the shelf. Again, he tried to move on, but the moment he walked away, it fell again. Same DVD, same shelf. This time he seemed uneasy, but still, he carried on. What happens next confirmed it for him. As he walked back to the opposite shelf to continue working, a completely different DVD from a different rack fell down behind him. While he moved toward it, the same first DVD, along with a couple more from the same row, came crashing down again. The timing was too perfect. The activity was too consistent. At that point, the man didn't waste time. He backed away fast, turned around, and ran out of the store without looking back. And honestly, who wouldn't? There were no signs of strings. No one else in the store. The footage wasn't edited or enhanced. It was raw security cam video. Paranormal investigators later reviewed it and said the repeated targeting of the same item, combined with multiple angles showing no human interference, made it one of the more convincing poltergeist videos captured in a commercial setting. And if you think that was intense, wait until you see what happened in a small retail shop where objects were literally thrown from the shelves. Number 4. Small retail store. In this one, we're taken inside a modest retail shop that looks like it sells general items, snacks, and drinks. Nothing about the store seems unusual at first glance, but what happens inside was anything but normal. The owner had just seen off his last customer for the day and was tidying up before closing. The store was quiet. The lights were still on. Everything was business as usual, until it wasn't. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a small box fell off one of the middle shelves. Not rolled, not knocked over. It dropped vertically, like it had been flicked or pushed. The owner stopped what he was doing and looked toward it, confused. Before he could make a move, something else hit the ground. A bottle this time. Then another from a completely different section of the store. What made this so chilling was how the objects were falling from different shelves at different times. Some near the front counter, others closer to the back wall. None of them were stacked in a way that suggested instability, and the surveillance footage confirmed that no customers were present. Even more disturbing was how forceful some of the falls were. Some of the store's heavier products, Coke bottles, were visibly knocked over with speed, like they had been shoved off the shelf. You can even see the impact they made when they landed. From another angle, captured by a second security camera, 2 more items fell almost simultaneously, one from the snack section, the other from toiletries. That's when he reached for the light switch. The man didn't say a word in the video, but you could tell he knew what this was. No wind, no other people, no reason, just objects falling and being thrown as if something was knocking them off the shelves. This wasn't some weak attempt at going viral. There were multiple cameras capturing multiple objects falling at separate times, and not one of them had any visible interference. What we're seeing here could be the early signs of something establishing control. Or worse, territory. Next, we move to a quiet kitchen where a mother watched as an unknown being stacked her dining chairs onto the dining table. Number 5. Chair stacking incident. A single mother living with her 2 kids had been dealing with strange things around her home for months. At first, it was just minor stuff. Lights flickering, doors creaking open on their own, and an odd, heavy feeling in the air, especially in the dining room. But when the kids started waking up crying in the middle of the night, saying they'd seen someone sitting in the living room, someone they didn't recognize, she knew it wasn't just her imagination. After several weeks of unexplained activity, she decided to install a CCTV system in the main areas of the house. Not to catch a thief, not to prove anything to anyone else, but just for her own peace of mind. One of the cameras was set up in the dining area, pointing straight at the table and chairs. For the first few nights, the footage looked normal. Nothing out of place. But then, early one morning, the camera caught something she couldn't explain. The room was completely still at first. The lights were off. No one else was in the house awake. Then, one of the dining chairs, solid wood heavy, shifted. It didn't slide slowly. It didn't rock. It lifted. The chair moved a few inches backward from the table, then floated up, smooth and steady, like it was being carried by something invisible. It hovered just above the floor, tilted slightly forward, then twisted to the side. Within seconds, the chairs began stacking onto the table. Another followed, then another. What's terrifying about this footage is the precision of the movements. These weren't clumsy slides across the floor or shaky camera tricks. The chairs were being positioned one by one with care, balanced on top of the table. There were no visible strings, no shadows of people moving off frame, no edits or jump cuts. The mother reviewed the footage after hearing a loud bang from the dining room that morning. She'd assumed one of the chairs had tipped over. Maybe the kids had left it unbalanced. What she saw instead was something she couldn't explain. To this day, there have not been any explanations as to why any of these events happened. So, what do you make of these chilling encounters? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more strange and unexplained moments caught on camera.